fire up a handheld smoker.
You keep the bees confused so they don't get aggressive.
Put on protective gear. And take a walk with Joe MARESH to meet some of his 600,000 honeybees.
There they are.
Bees act as pollinators, spreading nourishment from plant to plant.
Without pollination, there won't be any fruit. A lot of the crops that we rely on, they wouldn't be commercially viable. Okay? Does that make sense to you?
But many of the world's more than 20,000 bee species are under pressure right now, and this one is threatened with extinction. The rusty patched bumblebee put on the U.S. endangered species list, a first for North America.
We can celebrate for a day, but really tomorrow we need to get to work and get some conservation implemented on the ground so that we can help the species recover.
The nonprofit XERXES Society in Portland, Oregon did much of the research and petitioned the government to list the bee. Once found across 28 states and one Canadian province, its population has dropped nearly 90% in the last 20 years. Possible causes: disease, development, climate change, habitat loss. Endangered status would bring new resources and new attention to its plight.
Depending on how it's implemented and interpreted, it could have really broad implications on how pesticides are used, what kind of development can happen.
Some of those impacts, especially in Midwest and Eastern farming country, would certainly be controversial. Despite its importance as a crop pollinator, the bee's listing as endangered is not universally popular in the agriculture industry. The American Farm Bureau Federation has publicly opposed the designation. But the Federal Fish and Wildlife Service, which manages the endangered list, says any such designation for any animal can be a starting point for cooperation and conservation.
The Endangered Species Act does provide protections against criminal acts, but that's only one aspect of it. The Endangered Species Act is really focused on the ecosystem and restoration and to get those species off the endangered species list.
It could take the government several years to put together and begin implementing a full recovery plan. Allen Schauffler, Al Jazeera, Portland, Oregon.